Figured I'd do a quick walk around of this truck before I started doing anything to it. It's a 2003 Chevy Silverado. Extended cab, standard bed, 5.3, 4L60 two-wheel drive. Truck's on air ride. It's got 22-inch wheels on it. You see the bed's all cut out and nasty, but it's I guess a Wishbone 3-link bag on bar. It's got a Slam Specialties manifold. It's got, I think it's a 9 or 10 gallon tank under there. And then the compressors are in this weird toolbox in the bed, which they're teed and running, basically feeding air straight into each other, so that's pretty counterproductive. Sent me the stock headlights with it whenever I got it, and then this Escalade console came with it as well. It's got a full Escalade dash in it, and 07 to 13 steering wheel and shifter. The Escalade console came from the same truck. As you can see here, this one they had painted the bezels on it red. The A-pillars are red, and the dash was red until we put the Escalade dash in it. So, plan in here is to replace the pillars with factory gray pillars and get some more dark gray center console pieces to replace those. The gauge for the tank is here in the console, as well as the switch to turn the compressor on and off, which it's got a 200 psi pressure switch as well, but you can still shut it off. I think I'm going to leave the Escalade dash and just replace the bottom half here with the dark gray console pieces, so then everything will just match. And I kind of prefer these consoles better, and these dark gray consoles like this are really hard to find now. People want a fortune for them. It does have the Bose grills in the door. I don't know if it actually was a Bose equipped truck, but it does have those. I'll show you under the hood. Just a typical 5.3. It's got a hot air intake on it. The front does have wheel tubs, and everything's been kind of pushed up out of the way. You can see that the bottom of the hood had to be trimmed for the fuse box to fit. The battery sits in there a little bit cattywampus now. The same thing with the coolant tank. You can see it kind of sits in there crooked. There's the wheel tub on this side. And then it's missing this cover that goes from the grill to the core support. I'm not real sure what's going on with the front end. I don't know if it's just because of the amount of lift it gets, which it gets a fair amount of lift, but the front wheels camber out whenever it's lifted up all the way. Really anything like much over clearing the tire, it cambers the front out. And you can see this wheel is, the tire's debeaded. The tires that are on it don't even hold air because they're so bald, they're leaking out of the cords. And I really hate these wheels anyway, so I haven't even bothered to put air in them to pull it in and out of the shop. I really hate these black headlights too, so it'll get factories until I can put some all clear lights in it. But I'll go ahead and lay it out and show you what it looks like laid out. Alright, this is what it looks like laid out. I think the bed needs a little bit of adjustment too. I don't know what it is with bag trucks, but it seems like every one of them, the bed's all out of alignment whenever they put it back on when they're done. But it sits pretty nice. I absolutely love this blue color. I plan on painting the door handles, and it's missing the tailgate handle. So I plan on getting a new one of those and painting it, and then I'm going to replace this one taillight. It's got that typical delamination. I'm going to replace it, but the one on this side is perfectly fine, so I'll just leave it, replace the one. I need to cut this receiver hitch off of it. Maybe it'll lay the back out a little bit further without that there stopping it, because it pretty much sits on it when it's laid out. You can see that somebody drug through it already. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I think eventually we plan on maybe getting a rusty used bed and cut the floor out of it and do a raised bed floor in it. Pretty quickly I would like to relocate those compressors to back here along the side of the frame rail, and just put one on each side and run straight into the tank so they're not fighting against each other anymore. And before we do the raised bed floor, I might do something about these shock mounts to get them down a little closer to like where the top of the notch is. But overall, it's not a terrible truck. It's funny, it's got this daily driven sticker on it. I ran a Carfax. It's only had like 4,000 miles put on it in the last like 4 or 5 years. So I don't know what their definition of daily driver is, but that's like a couple of months, maybe 2 months worth of driving for me. But yeah, like I said, I hate the wheels. I also hate the blue badge. I'm gonna get a stock bow tie for the front. We're gonna probably pretty soon, I'm gonna put the 24s on my daily. So I'm gonna pull these 22-inch LTZ replicas off, and I've got a set of GM Transport wheels with good 265/35 22s. I'll throw them on the LTZs, get those thrown on here, which should change the look of this thing quite a bit. I just really hate black wheels. Yeah, it's my new truck. Kind of a project truck. I would like to drive it quite a bit, but I don't know. You know how it'll go. I'll probably tear it apart and it'll be in pieces forever. But here it is.